在国际上搞小圈子、新冷战、排斥、威胁、恐吓他人，动不动就搞脱钩、断供、制裁，人为造成相互隔离甚至隔绝，只能把世界推向分裂甚至对抗。
We are obviously deeply concerned about the decision to pass the national security law in Beijing as it affects Hong Kong. We will be looking at the law very carefully. We will want to scrutinize it properly.
Back in February this year, Joe Biden told the United States senators that China's infrastructure investment was outpacing that of Washington. He also warned that without similar investments, China would eat America's lunch.
Over the years I was vice president, and you know, we don't get moving, they're gonna eat our lunch. They have major new initiatives on rail, and they already have rail that goes 225 miles an hour.
So Biden introduced the infrastructure bill, which is likely to pass the Senate in the coming days, including $550 billion in investments in roads, bridges, railroads, internet expansion, electronic vehicle technology, and much more. However, American experts are very worried that the United States will lose against China in this big competition and will not be able to compete with this Asian power.
The Chinese represent a proud and ancient civilization which is too proud to bend its knee before an oppressor who wants to rule the world. Mm-hmm. You can do business with the Chinese, yes, but you cannot force them to bend their knee before you. An arrogant, a warmongering United States of America has now seems to be driven to madness by the touch of Satan.
According to a study by Beijing's annual budget as well as China's 5-year plan, the United States faces a serious challenge in staying relevant on the planet, especially in terms of competition with China. For example, in just one case of cement imports to China from 2011 to 2013, US imports have gone back a century. Figures provided by the US National Statistics Office show that China invested nearly $8 trillion in infrastructure back in 2020. The United States, on the other hand, invested only $146 billion in federal money over the same period. The Chinese are looking to stay relevant in the future and competitive and ultimately win. China is also working on its soft power, and so far it's done well. China, whose population today exceeds over 1 billion, has transformed in nearly 40 years from a country where 9/10 of its population suffered from extreme poverty like in India, to the largest industrial economy in the world. Today, Chinese soft power consists of culture, concepts, development model, international systems, and the international image. The United States will win the military game in the Pacific by strengthening its military bases near China, but China doesn't want to play that game. China is playing a different game: economic investments, trade, immigration, and smile diplomacy. The United States can't stop this, and it's losing China's game, and it will not be able to hinder China's rise, and that's guaranteed. China has a large media arsenal in the world through the information office of the Prime Minister's office. This office forms part of a broader propaganda apparatus coordinating various propaganda efforts, has a large number of employees, and a huge budget. China supports its soft power projects in large amounts. For example, the amount of $50 billion for the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, $41 billion for the New Development Bank, $40 billion for the Silk Road Economic Belt, and $25 billion for the navigation of the Silk Road. Beijing has pledged to invest $1.25 trillion worldwide by 2025. It's clear that Beijing is using the most powerful tool in its soft power toolbox, and that's money. But for China to be a global power, it needs to understand that despite its world-class culture, cuisine, and human capital, and despite the extraordinary economic rise which it has achieved over the past few decades, its political system still denies free human development. You see, my friends, soft power can't be bought, but it must be obtained, and it's best obtained when talented citizens of a society are allowed to interact directly with the world rather than being controlled by authorities. For China, that means loosening restrictions at home and reducing efforts to control opinion abroad. Only then China can exploit its vast reserves of unrealized soft power.